All right. Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever applies to you, depending on when you're watching this and where you might be watching this from. I want to welcome you to the Spiritual Life Center, and I want to welcome you to our Wednesday night study. This is Spiritual Life here, and this is Spiritual Life's Spiritual School of Learning. This is our spiritual school of learning. If you like tonight's content, you can say thanks by giving stars, but I am going to ask you, regardless of whether you give stars tonight, I want you to interact with us tonight. I want you to hit those likes and those um, hearts and all of those things that kind of boost the algorithm a little bit so that more people will be notified that we are live. So, as you can see, I am not Apostle Lisa Grace. I know y'all love Apostle Lisa Grace, and that's who y'all want to hear on Wednesday nights. I know that. And it's okay. It's okay. But I'm not her. And she's not going to be with us tonight either. Um, she's taking care of something and is not going to be able to make it tonight. But tonight's message is going to come from Minister Shante Ruston, and I'm waiting on her to log on. And as soon as she logs on, we're going to go ahead and let her lead off. Give me a second to do some things here in the background. Let me share this to my church group. That ain't it. Sorry. Give me a second. Let me share this to the church group real quick. Um, How do I do that? How do I do that? Okay, groups. Let's share it there, there, and there. All right. So, yeah, so as soon as she comes in, I'm going to check in on her real quick. Let me go and see if she's having any issues. She hasn't sent me any messages, so I guess she's fine. But, well, she can't be but so fine because she's not on here, right? So we're going to give her a few moments to come on. And while we're doing that, I just again would like to welcome you and thank you for being here and just engage with us tonight. I don't know what, oh, excuse me, I don't know what Minister Rustin is going to be sharing tonight, um, but I know it's going to be good. So we're going to get her on shortly. How's everybody doing out there? I don't know if anybody has logged on yet, but if you are on, say something, say hello, let us know how you're doing. Um, I guess while we're waiting on her, because I don't know what kind of technical difficulty she's having, I don't want to prolong our time here tonight. I am not bringing the messages, but I will share some of the things that came to me on today. I shared with you, well, shared with with Spiritual Life some time ago that whenever you hear me teach or preach, it's always something that came out of my prayer time. So one of the things I'm very serious about is my prayer life, and I see prayer multifaceted. I see prayer um, doing two things, well, several things, but one of the things, and this is the reason why prayer is so important to me. In my prayer time, it's an opportunity, first of all, for me to experience stillness and quietness. And and I happen to believe that in the stillness and the quietness is where God abides. That's why I don't. If you know me well, I don't really like a lot of noise. I don't like a lot of noise at all. Too much noise overstimulates me and even makes me nervous. You know, the only time I like noise is when I'm in church. Okay, and sometimes that can be a little much for me, to be honest with you. But I know I was my daughter's birthday gathering her 16th birthday, my youngest baby, Skylar. We were at a restaurant. There was so much going on. I was so overstimulated. I was about to break down, y'all. It was just too much going on. So I don't like, hey, my sister, thank you for being here. Always good to have you. I don't like a lot of noise. And I think I'm learning why I don't like a lot of noise, even in my car. If you know me, okay, if anybody on here is on here right now that knows me, tell me what you hear in my car. Nothing. I don't play music. Very rarely do I play any type of music. I like quietness. Why? Because in the stillness, in the quietness is where God abides. God's not in the noise, y'all. I'm not saying we shouldn't make a joyful noise and all those things, but if you really want to find God, you will find God in the quietness, in the stillness. That's why prayer is not only important, but also meditation. Do you hear me? She just sent me a text and said she's trying to get in. I gotta see what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but oh, you said it's a cancer thing. Is that right? Maybe it is. Yeah, yeah. I definitely don't like a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me, I'm sleepy too. Um, but so I think that's uh, probably part of the reason, and another reason why. Let me see what's going on with her. Excuse me. What type of issues are you having? Question mark. Okay, she's not able to get on for some reason, but I'm gonna keep talking until she can fix it. So yeah, that might be a part of it. And the other thing, I really discovered that God lives in the stillness. God lives in the quietness, the stillness, the calmness. Oh my goodness, that's where God is. If if we're overly anxious, if we're always talking, if we're just on edge all the time and just, we're gonna miss God. Are y'all hearing me? If you want to experience God, might be a message tonight till she gets on here. But if you want to experience God, you got to calm down. Y'all, you hearing me tonight? You got to learn how to chill if you want to really experience God. Because what we're experiencing in the noise and in the doing. See, it's not about doing. It's about being. It's about just being. Relax and just be. She says she thinks she's in, but I don't see her. Let me tell her I don't. Oh, yeah. We're always doing, and we're not being. But if you really want to experience God, you gotta calm down. Let me try to send this again to her. Excuse me, guys. I want to make sure she's getting the right link. Let me see. Make sure it was the right link. But yeah, because if you want to experience God, you gotta chill. Y'all hear me? People wonder why they think, some people, I think they think I'm a pushover because it seems like a lot of times I'm just so chill. I'm so relaxed. Now I can get a little hype too. Okay. I can get a little hype. I know that. But I want to tell you, I stay in the presence of God. And I'm not being braggadocious about that either. Sense of God, I really do, because I've learned how to just relax. And a lot of times, when you're always so overly anxious and you're always, I gotta do, then you gotta say. A lot of times, what you're experiencing when you think, I see Minister Rustin's in here, but a lot of times when you think you're experiencing God, you're really not experiencing God, but you're experiencing your ego. The loud voice that you're hearing is not God, it's your ego. it's like we would say, quote unquote, we would say, quote unquote, your flesh. Minister Patrice, turn your camera the other way, the long way. Um,
Okay.
but,
Let me
but
see.
but it's quote unquote.
Can
You
you see me
should
now?
take your if you got your lock screen on, take that off. Screen lock feature.
It shouldn't be on. Let me
Because
see.
it should have rotated when you did that.
Let me
But
see.
yeah,
I
so a lot of
sometimes I
times
take
what you're actually hearing is you're hearing your ego. Okay? You're hearing yourself. And there's nothing wrong with yourself, but the ego self, that'll get you in trouble. But if you want to hear God, you got to find, there you go. Beautiful. You got to find the stillness. Um, Let me see. That light behind you, anytime there's light behind you, it's going to mess you up. But if you can close that, you'll probably be fine. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to digress. That's all I'll share for now. I was just talking about my prayer time today. Actually, I didn't get into that, but I was going to talk about my prayer time. But I just ended up talking about why prayer is so important in meditation and that thing. But I didn't get into what I experienced in my prayer time today. But I'll just give you a little hint on that. It was just really, it was about examining ourselves. That's really what it was about. It was
okay.
about looking at
I missed
ourselves.
that.
Huh?
If I say I missed that, I wanted to hear that. I hate that I missed that.
Oh no, I hadn't even talked about it. This was in my
Okay.
prayer time this morning, but I never got to it on here. But yeah, but that's what Spirit was dealing with me about in my prayer time was just examining myself, looking at you instead of deflecting, instead of projecting,
Mm,
reflecting. And he brought God brought to me the scripture from David, and I began as I was walking up and down this hallway right here this morning, about 6 o'clock this morning, walking up and down the highway. I mean, not highway, walking up and down the hallway. I was praying the prayer of David: search me, O Lord, try me, know my thoughts, and if there be any wicked way in me, lead me in the way everlasting. I learned how to look at me. Why?
mm,
Because this is what the Spirit was dealing with me about. That I'm gonna give it over to Minister Patrice. Why? Because I'm serious about whatever you want to call it, my faith. For me, it's Christ consciousness. I'm serious about embodying the consciousness of Christ. I mean, you know how the old folk used to say, I mean heaven all the way. Listen,
mm.
for me, I mean this thing. I really do. I'm not playing with God. I'm not playing church, as we used to say. Okay. I really want to embody the consciousness of Christ and display that to everybody I come in contact with. So we're glad to have Minister Patrice with us tonight. Again, Apostle Graves could not be with us tonight because she was working late tonight. But we're glad to have Minister Patrice with us tonight. And we're just going to, she's one of the ministers, evangelists, and everything else, elder and others. I
No,
just
don't
saw
put that
this
on me.
video. I just saw this video. Well, I ain't gonna talk about that. I get off on something else. But she's a part of of spiritual life, and we love having her at spiritual life, and we're very grateful for the part she's played and that she's going to play even on tonight. The role that she's stepping into of being our teacher tonight for the spiritual school of learning. So I want you to receive. I'll be in and out, but I want you to receive um, Minister Patrice, and I call her Shantae Rustin.
Yeah. Yeah, call me Shantae. I don't do the labels, but he was almost in what I am going to be speaking about tonight. Um, Not going to be long. I'm going to make it quick. Um, I really just wanted to come and speak about our voice and how when we don't lose our use our voice, we lose that spiritual battle within. Because a lot of us are dealing with some things, and a lot of us are becoming silent and oppressed because of things that we're dealing with, because of things we're going through. I did jot some things down because I wanted to make sure that I hit some points here. Um, I don't like to drag it out. I like to get right to the point. Um, so the topic is when we don't use our our voice, we lose that spiritual battle. When we don't use our voice, we lose our voice and then we lose that battle. I'm going to start off with, we're going to go into Isaiah 53:7. And I come from the NLT version, and it says, He was oppressed and treated harshly, yet he never said a word. Yet he never said a word. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter. And as a sheep is silent before the shearers, he did not open his mouth. Now I'm going to say that again. Now he was oppressed and treated harshly, meaning that for us, I'm going to put it in our terms, meaning when we go through things, when we are dealing with depression or dealing with low self-esteem or these thoughts and these conscious confusion that we deal with, um, when we deal with that. And it said he was led, he never said a word. So what dealing with those things, we get silent, we don't pray, we don't go into that quiet space, we don't begin to manifest and speak out of those things. Um, he was led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep is silent before the shearer, he did not open his mouth. Now we're going to speak on this thing, the enemy, which for me, I say the inner me, the enemy, which is the enemy. The enemy can use silence as a weapon as well, because we know that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So, if this to be true, which it is true, as we know, how can our manifestations, our healing, our breakthrough, and our desires come into agreement if we don't speak? Now, knowing that life and death is in the power of the tongue, knowing that the inner me, which is the things that we deal with, knowing that when we deal with those things and we sit in those things and we don't speak, we don't begin to manifest, we don't begin to say, I am healed. You don't begin to say, I am delivered. We don't begin to say, I am free. When we don't begin to say those things, we begin to lose the war within ourselves. So
Mm.
without saying the enemy, which is outside of ourselves, which is something outside of ourselves, we have to look at the inner me, the things that we deal with within ourselves that is keeping us oppressed, that is keeping us
Come on.
depressed, that is keeping us stuck in a space because of the inner me.
Come
And a
on.
lot of times we hear people say, "Man, the enemy made me do this," and the devil, here that devil go.
Yeah.
Nothing against people that say that, because this you can look at it two different ways, right?
Right.
But if we want to look at it in a space where we can heal and we can become free on a deeper level, we look at ourselves, which is the inner me,
Talk good.
right? So um
And let me say,
knowing that to be
it's
true.
not just spirit. I mean, it's not just religious people that do that. It's not just
Yeah, a lot
spirit
of yeah,
people that do that.
people just do it.
We just do that.
People
We
just
always
do it
blame something outside of us.
outside of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's a person, whether it's someone that we're dealing with, whether it's the family, we say if they didn't do this or if they didn't do that, or I went through this with them, so this is why I'm where I'm at. No, you have to look at those things within yourself that made you react the way, that made you do a certain thing. So it is the inner me, right? Now we know that silence begins to be used as a weapon against our destiny, right? So when we don't speak
Mm.
things into fruition, when we don't speak certain things, um, as we know they are. Like if we don't say we're looking for this job, or say that we're desiring something, but we're going through so much within the inner me that we don't speak it. We don't say what we want. We don't say what we desire. We'll sit there and we either watching TV, or we're listening to some music, and we don't sit back and we don't look at those things that we're dealing with within ourselves that is holding us back from our destiny, holding us back from the things that we desire. And that is a inner me thing, not nothing outside of us. That's an inner me thing, right? Now, um, the enemy has a way of sabotaging things in our life. Now I'm saying enemy because I'm saying inner me.
Yeah.
So the inner
Okay.
me has a way of sabotaging things in our life. Now we
Woo!
know that silence is a gift, and silence is one of the most hardest things to master and to learn. We know that. We know silence is a good thing, right? But as we know that all some good things often can be used against us,
Okay.
right? And the inner me can do that. We can self sabotage. It becomes a weapon. Our silence sometimes can become a weapon against ourselves because we don't speak those things as they are that we need to be done in our life, right? Because, like I said, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So, knowing that if we don't speak certain things, how do we come out of things? How do we come in agreement with the things that we're desiring if we don't speak those things?
Mm.
Now, some of the tactics that I believe the inner me uses against us is our thoughts, our misfortunes, our regrets, our low self-esteem, our hurts, our pain,
Mm,
our insecurities, our uncertainties, our past and present relationship dramas, our clouded thoughts, our
mhm.
confusion, and any other thing that keeps us oppressed. That is an enemy. That's the inner me. Those are the things that we're dealing with. Those are the things that we're dealing with that is keeping us silent. Those are the things that constantly lay dormant in our thoughts that keeps us in a space where we just don't move. We're stagnant. We become depressed. Um, we begin to, if we do speak, we're speaking these things, right? We're
Right.
speaking, man, I'm depressed, man. I'm
Yeah.
my self-esteem is low, man. I feel like I just can't do this. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So when we begin to speak those things,
Mm,
they become weapons. Um, so that's the inner me thing. And once we begin to see that that's an inner me thing and not an enemy, which is outside of ourselves,
come
then
on.
that's where the change happens. That's when the manifestations come. That's when the healing happens.
Come
That's when
on.
the blessings come. That's when everything that we're needing and we're desiring, that's when it begins to come. That's when begins to come into fruition because we begin to speak those things as they are so. Um,
Mm, very
Now
good.
we know that wherever our emotions and our attention goes to, that's where our energy goes, right?
Yes.
We know that whatever we're thinking about a lot, you know that whatever we are always harping on, whatever we're always thinking about or talking about, that's where our energy goes. So
Mhm.
we're sitting in those spaces and we're thinking about the things that we don't have, the things that we want to have, the things that we're dealing with, maybe at a job or maybe in a relationship. If we're always thinking about that, where's the room for the things that we're desiring? Where's
Mm,
the room for the we're already filled up with all of that stuff. Where's the room for the things that we're desiring? So we have to learn how to master the inner me. Now we'll never be perfect, but mastering the inner me, that's how we move forward. That's how we get the things that we desire. Um,
mm,
Now, if our thoughts and our words create our reality, what are we creating? And if life and death is in the power of our tongue, what are we speaking?
mm,
So we have to begin to think about, okay, so if life and death in the power of my tongue, what am I needing right now? What am I desiring right now? What should I be speaking right now?
mm.
Right. And if I'm creating my own reality, what do I not need to be thinking? Right. What do I need to be thinking? What do I need to be trying to manifest? Because we know that we've been put here with the power to manifest. We've inherited that, right? Because we were made in the image of God, the likeness. So we are that in human form. So whatever we think, whatever we now I don't like to use the word magic, but we are the magic, right?
You are the
Because
man.
whatever we think, it comes in fruition. Whatever we speak,
According
it
to the
happens.
power that worketh in you. We are the magic.
Right. So we are the magic, right? So they like to deem stuff like that and say that there's such no such thing, but there is a such thing because we are that, right? So if that be the case, we have to begin to think about what we're thinking about all the time, what we're speaking all the time, what we're around all the time, what we're allowing ourselves to see a lot of times, because whatever we're allowing ourselves to see, we receive it. And whatever we're receiving, we're going to begin to manifest it. So being
So,
very aware of that.
so thank you for bringing this into our awareness. And so confession now. So I don't know if this is beat up on the Bishop Day or something,
It
but
might be now.
I feel like I
Stir the
just got
pot.
I feel like I just got a black eye from Minister Rustin
Mhm.
for some reason.
It's
But I'm
okay.
just no. But okay, it's coming into my awareness. No, it's not. See, you see what I just did? Y'all see what I just did? I deflected upon her. The reason why I'm feeling like I feel is because of her. It's not because of her. It's because
Because
of
of
the
you.
enemy. The
The enemy. Yep.
enemy. Enemy. And but I was just sitting here. I'm gonna tell you, and maybe this will help somebody. That's why I'm gonna share this little bit of transparency. So I was
Mhm.
sitting here and I was thinking about, and let me before I say it, I'm doing much better. I think I'm getting very disciplined on this. Um, and I think my female friend, my fiance would probably could testify to this. Okay, she could testify that I from the Jamel now and the Jamel like about 3 years ago when we was first 3 4 years ago when we was first dating or whatever. Um, I was sitting here thinking about the inner me, and you talked about self sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I was thinking about some of the things I've experienced, and I looked at myself this time. Okay, whoa,
Yeah.
I just realized what kind of alignment we're in, even back from my prayer time this morning. Search me, right? Try me, know my
Yeah.
thoughts, whatever. But I was sitting here thinking while you were talking about that self sabotage and the inner me, and I thought about Patrice, how much I fuss.
Mm.
I thought about it, and I'm better. I'm a little better now, but I thought about how much I fuss. Even sometimes I might not be fussing at at her, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but because I got a little bit of self control and discipline, but I'm walking in my house as if she's here, and I'm fussing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fussing to the air, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but it just made me think about it though, how much I used to fuss about what I don't like. And you just taught me something. That's I'm because you said something earlier when we focus so much and talk about what's wrong. I don't That's not the word you use, but you can help me with that. But when we focus so much and talk about what's wrong, you said
Mm-hmm.
something to the effect, we don't leave the room for the
For the good.
manifestation of what we
Right. Yeah. We
desire.
don't. We don't. There's no room for it because we're already full. Like we feel like because whatever we're giving our energy to, and that's where our emotions begin to go to. So we don't make room for anything else but what we're doing. There's no room for it. How do we receive like this? We can't receive like this because ain't nobody gonna come and pull that open. We got to be willingly to just go like that and just receive.
Mm,
And I think I know maybe a lot of us have done that self-sabotaging because we've been so conditioned to look outside of ourselves,
mhm,
and blame something outside of ourselves because we don't like to sit in our issues to figure out how to change those things. It hurts. It hurts to sit in those things where you know that it was you. When you can, it's easy to say what somebody this or someone. It's easy to do that, but when you have to sit and realize that it's you, it's the inner me, not the
mm,
enemy.
mm,
Um, it hurts to do that. But I think the beauty of that is we're willing to do it. When we're willing to do it, that's the beauty of it all. Okay, God, whatever it is that I need to think about me,
yes, yes,
show me me,
yes.
show me me. Because I think you said something yesterday when you were speaking of if you want to know the word, look at Christ, right?
Yes.
Show me
Yes.
me so I can be more like Christ.
Yes.
Show me me so I can be more like Christ. And so many people are dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare right now. We've always heard about spiritual warfare. That's something that we've always heard about, but it's so heavy right now. And there's a lot of people that are silent. People are not speaking. People are not talking themselves out of their situations. They're not talking themselves
Ooh, that's
into what
powerful.
they're
Say that.
desiring. So a lot of us are doing that. And I say people because but I say me as well, because I've experienced that as well, the self-sabotaging as well. So so many of us are at war spiritually, and ain't no way we losing it because something as simple as our silence is hindering us. So I say speak or forever hold your peace, right? Because if we don't, there's no peace there's peace that comes with silence, but there's also a peace that does not come when you're silent. There's I believe in duality. I believe there's two
Yeah.
sides to everything, right?
Yeah.
So there's duality, and we know that good can be used for evil.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that we don't forget that. Not sitting around thinking that being quiet about something and not speaking something is the best thing to do when no, that at that moment it is the best thing to do. Sometimes we'll feel like, well, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't want this club. But sometimes it is good for you to say that because you have to release some things a lot of time. So we have to know the difference between when to speak and when not to speak. But when you're in this battle and when you're dealing with something and there's no peace, then you have to speak. You have to begin to manifest. You have to begin to speak to yourself. You have to begin to speak to the enemy, the inner me.
Yeah.
They say,
Yeah.
um, they rebuke the devil, they rebuke the enemy, but no, you encourage the inner me. Speak to the inner me.
Ah, I see.
Um,
Okay.
so so there's a way to do it, because a lot of things that we did learn growing up, it still works for us, but we see it different now. And that's where the change comes in on a deeper level, because we see it different now. Because when we were still in that box, we were limited to the freedom that we did have within ourselves and the peace that we had with it. We always felt a lot of conviction, and we always felt guilty about things because we were limited to our resources, what how to really move through situations. We always looked outside of ourselves. But once you get out of that box and once you realize it's me, it's the inner me, this is a me thing. Once you get out of that and you begin to manifest these things, you begin to speak to those things, you begin to speak to yourself, which is the inner me, then that's where the change really, really happens. And it's not an easy thing, but it's a worth it thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that.
it's not easy, but it's worth it. And I'm not gonna be up here too long because I believe that for me, I woke up when I told you, Jamil, that's something that came to me. Didn't know I was going to have to speak it today, but it came when I wrote it as if I was going to be speaking it. But I think that for me tonight, I just wanted to speak on whatever you're dealing with, whatever we're going through, whatever you are enduring, whatever is hindering you from where you're desiring to be. Speak against it, right? You got to open your mouth, because I get it. It can be heavy at times when we're dealing with that depression or dealing with that uncertainty, especially financially. Finances, the world is changing. That ain't got nothing
Yeah.
to do with us, y'all. We chosen, we are purpose. So the world's going to change.
Yeah.
It's the end of something, but it's also the beginning of something. Old
Yes.
things have to die for the new to come. So
Yeah.
let's make sure that we know that. And it can be heavy when we deal with stuff like that. It's very heavy when we deal with stuff like that, but knowing that we have the power to speak against that thing, and also knowing that we have the power to speak to ourselves to bring us out of that thing. Um, so I just wanted to come real quick, Jamil, and just speak on the inner me, and knowing that life and death is in the power of the tongue. We are the author and creator of our reality. Everything we need and desire, our creator has given us the power to manifest that,
Hallelujah.
because we are made in that image. We are that. So whatever we need and whatever we desire, as long as it is in the will of God for our life, it is already ours. We just have to call that thing in. We
Yeah.
got to start calling stuff in. We got to start using our voice. So even when we're in those spaces and we don't want to get up, we don't want to pray, we don't want to move or do a certain thing, we have to find the strength to do that. Find the strength to do it, even if it's a simple word is, um, I'm gonna do this. Let me get up. Let me say a quick prayer. Just a quick prayer. Let me have a moment when I manifest this. Let me hear from God, and make sure that you're asking God to help you be sensitive to that voice. Help you be sensitive to the voice that you need to hear while you're moving forward. Like I said, I wasn't going to be quick tonight. Just wanted you to begin to self-reflect on the inner me, because a lot of times we say the enemy, and that's outside of ourselves. But where we are right now, where I believe that most of us are right now, we are in this space of expanding. And with that expansion, we have to begin to look at ourselves more. So focus on the inner me. Don't let those things that are constantly weighing you down, those things that are constantly coming into your thoughts, don't let those things take over you. And know that it is the inner me that you need to be focused on um, within change. Jamel, I don't know if you're still here, but I just wanted to tap in on that real quick. I didn't want to go too much further. It was something that came to me that I felt like I really needed
That's
to
so
speak on. It
good.
was coincidence that you said that, because I woke up about 5:30 and then I just started writing. And I think it's very important that as the shift is taking place, we begin to self-reflect on the inner me. Um, and that was it for me, Jamel. That
Beautiful.
was
Well, you said something, a few things. One of the things you stated tonight, you said that So you talked about um, when we don't speak, we lose the battle, right?
Hmm.
And you talked about us sometimes being silent instead of. I wish I could remember the exact phrase. I should have wrote it down when you said it, but it was something like, "We don't talk ourselves out of stuff," or something like that. What was
Yeah.
that word you used? We don't
When
talk
when
ourselves through stuff or talk ourselves out of stuff or something like that. I want you
yeah,
to
it,
kind of
it was
tell us
something.
more about that and how, because someone needs a how to make this applicable. So how
Okay.
do I do this? Give us a how to. But start with that because you said we don't talk ourselves, and I might be saying not the exact phrase, but something to the
Okay.
effect of, we're losing because we're not talking ourselves out of the stuff that we're in. Talk about that
Yeah.
for a moment.
Yeah. Basically, what we're instead of doing that, what we're doing, let me start here. What we're doing is we're talking about the issue, right? We're constantly talking about what we're dealing with. We're constantly um talking about the issue, talking about the problem, talking about what's being done and what's not being done. We're not saying what we need to be doing is putting a plan together. This is how I'm going to do this. This is already done. Putting a plan together with our words, even if you're not right. It's good to write it down, but even if you haven't wrote it down, it's good to have a plan with your words. Okay, um, I'm going to have this job, even though the situation looks this way right now. I know that I'm coming out of this situation, even though I don't have this right now. And the word is right now, because it's not I don't have it, because you do have it, just not at this moment. Even though I don't have it right now, it's coming. And I'm going to work towards and do everything I have to do to get it. So even though I don't have it right now, it's coming. Even though it doesn't feel good right now, it's going to begin to get better. So the key thing is not saying that you don't have something or it's not here right now, because when we say things like, man, I'm depressed, or man, I don't have this, then you're speaking it as if that's just what it is. No, you have to make sure you watch the wording when you say things. It's just, I don't have this right now. At this moment, I don't have it, but it's coming. At this moment, it doesn't feel good, but it's getting better. At this moment, I don't like this, but I know there's a reason for it. At this moment, um, this is not what I want, but what I want is coming. At this moment, I don't like this situation, but I know the situation is getting better. So speak it as though it's already here, and watch the wording in it. Make sure you're not constantly saying, I am this, because the I am is very powerful. Make
Yeah,
sure it's not I am this or I am that. It is,
that's your
I
God
don't
power.
like it. Yeah, yeah, I don't like it, but I know that it is this. I know that I am getting this. I know that I will be having this. I know that I am walking into this. I know that I am going to have this. Make sure that you're saying it as this is, it's coming. I am. It's coming as if you already have it. So it's just the wording that you're using. Make sure that you're not saying I am, or I am depressed. Man, I'm not making it right now. I'm not right now. I'm not in a good space right now. Just I get it. It feels that way. But just make sure you're not manifesting that. You're not creating that and letting it sit in the atmosphere, because if it's there, it's there. And now you're just sitting in it because you done put it in the atmosphere already. So just change the wording. Even though I don't like it, I know it's getting better. I am getting better. Even though it don't feel good, I am in a space where I can make it better. Like it's just the wording in. Just make sure that you are speaking it as is already so.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I believe that a lot of times we stay in spaces, and I won't say because we choose to, but sometimes we forget that we have the power to move out of a situation. We forget that sometimes. Sometimes it be so heavy, the enemy and the issues are so heavy that we forget the power that we do have. We forget that we are that which we are calling to for that assistance. We are that. We've already been giving that. And I
Yeah,
think that a lot of times we do forget that. We forget that a lot of times. But once you realize that it's just an inner me issue, that you can begin to tap into that, and you can begin to speak against it. So self-reflecting and not self-sabotaging. So
I like that.
self-reflecting so you can
Self-reflection.
change some things, and not self-sabotaging, because the inner me is good at self-sabotaging. Excuse me. So making sure that we watch our wording, making sure that the I am, if we are using the I am, is something positive coming out of the I am, making sure the I am is not followed by something negative,
Yeah.
making sure the I am is always followed by something good. And it's I don't want to say it's as simple as that, but it kind of is as simple as making sure that the I am is not followed by something negative, and making sure that after the I am is followed by something positive. And because I don't want to use this as simple as that, but it's
Mm.
as simple as making sure something as little as
Mm.
positive and negative, negative and positive, making sure that when we're using those words, I am, that
So
what's
y'all,
following that is something positive and not something negative.
so y'all watch your I am. That's remember what I said earlier. That's your God power. Watch your God power. Watch how you
It
use it.
is. Oh, that's good. Yeah,
That's your
it
God
it
power.
is.
Because
That is
that's what
good.
Moses asked, according to the text. Moses asked God, "Who should I say sent me, or who are you?" And God responded, "I am." That's
Hmm.
what God
Yeah,
said. I am. That's what God is. God is the I am. So when you
yeah,
say I am, that's your God power. That this thing, as simple as this might sound, this thing is convicting the hell out of, excuse my French, but it's
yeah.
convicting
It
the
did
hell
it
out
to
of me.
me.
The
It
hell for
it
real.
did
It's
it to
getting
me.
we look at hell as the darkness, right? It's convicting the
Yeah,
hell out of me. It's getting that.
yeah,
But I was just sitting here thinking and hearing myself and reflecting, like on the screen. How do I, where's it at? It's
self-reflecting and not self-sabotaging. Yep, that's what I said.
self-reflecting and not
Yep.
self-sabotage. So I was sitting here reflecting, self-reflecting, and I was thinking about how I use my God power and how I say I am. And I'm not that this is just an example. This is not me speaking something, but it's like I am so tired of such and such. I am sick of such a, what are we putting? How are you using your God power? What are you putting behind your I am? That has messed
Yeah.
me up tonight in a good
I
way.
mean, it's man, that did something to me.
They did
But I
it.
mean, because we have to realize, like, when we think of um the teacher Jesus, right? We think of
Yeah.
how he moved knowing
Mm.
the power that he had,
Come
right?
on.
And he was trying to let the people know the power that they had. And I like what I've always loved, how he would ask people, "Do you believe that you're healed?"
Uh-huh.
And he would say to them, it was no magic tricks or nothing.
Come
I
on.
mean, he did a few things like put the hands over this face, but there
Yeah.
was nothing magic. It was more so, do you believe? And
All
my phrase, my thing, the knowing, do you know? And when he would say,
according
your
to
faith
the
have, yeah,
oh,
your faith
your
has
faith.
made you healed.
Your faith has made. Isn't that
So your
something?
knowing, your knowing,
Well,
your
no.
knowing has made you heal, right? Your knowing has made you free. Your knowing has made you prosperous. Your knowing has, so it's
Woo.
all in the knowing. And I'm telling you, man, it's when you know, and when you can speak it because you know it, that's when everything starts to manifest. It's the knowing, it's the I am, it's the knowing, and then there's the manifestations. So speaking the thing as I am, knowing the thing is going to happen, and knowing it's going to happen, then it begins to manifest in that order.
Awesome.
I am, I know it, and it's happening. Right. So
I
just
say.
knowing that, and every time I every time I read and I see those different stories of how he walked and how he healed these people don't realize that it's because he knew it, and he just wanted them to know that he just wanted them to know that all you have to do is believe.
Yes.
And then you know what they did? They spoke it. They said, I do. They
Yes.
used their words. They didn't
You
just think
say.
of they didn't just think about it like, I am. They went into agreement with them. They agreed, but they used their words. They used their words. They used their words, and they knew it.
Amazing.
So it's It's simple, but it's not simple.
Right, right, right.
We can say it's simple. I can
Discipline.
say that it's simple, but it's not simple. But it is knowing that you are that. You are that you need. That thing that you need, you are that. Now let's not get it mistaken. There is a higher power. There is a God above us. We know that. But we were made in that image though,
Yes.
to move in this realm here, to move in this realm. Because we know that God is spirit. There's no way that spirit can be walking around here. No, God probably walking around spiritually, but he
Right.
gave
I got
she gave us the power to move in this realm because
you.
we're made in that image. So we've inherited every last thing that we are reaching for.
Yeah.
We've inherited that. So just watch the wording, make sure there's a positive coming after that I am, not a negative, and just know that when you speak it, it's already done. It's the knowing. Same thing as faith. Just knowing when you speak it that it's already done. It's already done. Already done. And do something that's uncomfortable. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable because uncomfortability is uncomfortable, but there's some good things that come out. There's some good things that come out of being uncomfortable. A lot of change comes out of being uncomfortable, getting out of that comfort zone. Because when we stay in that comfort zone, we stay stagnant. So we stay in a space where we're not speaking certain things. Nothing is changing. Nothing's changing when we're just sitting there and we're not speaking certain things. Nothing is changing. It's only getting worse. Nothing changes. So I just encourage you to make sure that you are watching the wording when you do begin to speak, and know that when you speak that you have the power to speak to that thing. Know that when you say it that you have the power to move that thing. You move mountains. Know that you move. Know and believe that you move mountains. And it may seem cliche and it may seem like ain't no way, but there is a way.
There's a
We are made in that image. We
yes.
are that.
We are that.
We are that. Know that, and knowing that is powerful, right? Because when you begin to second guess and when you begin to question it, I have to believe that when we speak to our higher power and we ask for a thing and we say a thing, our higher power knows if we're serious or not.
Mhm.
Knows if we're serious or not. So if thing don't move a certain way, it's like God knew you ain't you weren't ready. We ain't ready. So there's certain things that just not gonna move because we haven't prepared ourselves for it. Um, but know it, stand in the knowing, and be encouraged. Be encouraged, and like I said, either we gonna what I say, speak now or forever hold your peace. And speak now, open your mouth now, speak to that thing now,
Mm.
or be in the space where you never had that peace, where you never prosper, you never move forward, you never come out this situation. Speak or stay in those spaces.
Lord.
We got two. It's two choices. We're gonna speak, we're gonna open our mouth, we're gonna speak to that thing, we're gonna encourage ourselves, we're gonna be mindful of what we are saying, we're gonna encourage ourselves, we're gonna encourage the inner me so we can stop self-sabotaging.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you allowed me to do this because it did something for me. So
Yeah.
I won't self-sabotage because I was hearing
Yeah.
some things as well, but I
Yes.
said no. Things are moving the way they're moving. I had to look
Yes.
at some things within myself and figure out, well, why am I feeling that way? What is it about me
Mhm.
that's making me feel that way?
Woo!
God is already telling me that it's time to do this, or God is already lining things up. God is already moving me back into position, but I'm in my head. I'm letting my inner me self-sabotage me. So, um,
Mm.
make no mistake, I'm no different. Minister, whatever you want to call me, I'm no different. We all deal with the same exact things.
Absolutely.
Um, we all deal with the same, maybe on different levels, but we all deal with the same exact things. But I have to check the inner me all the time. And I've failed at it a lot, but I've also succeeded a lot. And I'm still fail sometimes, but I'm still keep pushing and I'm gonna still keep encouraging the inner me until I get to that space. where the inner me does not have that hold on me in certain situations.
Mhm.
So thank you, Jamel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamel. I hope y'all got something out of this. I hope this was encouraging. I'll say this one more time because I think this is um, very important. Watch what you're saying behind the I am. Make sure it's positive and not negative. Make sure what you're saying behind the I am is positive and not negative. And realize how a lot of times we're always saying I am. I am. That I am is powerful, y'all. That I am is powerful, y'all. So I encourage you to stand in your knowing, to stand in a space knowing that any and everything you desire, that if it's in the will of God for your life, it is already yours. Speak it as if it is already so. Stand in the knowing, walk in the knowing, speak in the knowing, manifest in the knowing, be free in the knowing, because all things are working for our good. So if those things that you're dealing with in the enemy are hitting you hard, that's something that you need to address. That's something you need to deal with. Don't be discouraged. Um, don't be weak about it. Stand in who you are. And I encourage you, if you can say this with me, um, I am I am powerful. I am free. I am loved. I have everything I'm desiring. I am prosperous. I am purposed. I am empowered. Everything I need is in the palm of my hands. I just have to release to receive. You are the author and the creator of your reality. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I love you. I love you, Jamel. Thank you for having me tonight.
Love
I
you
really
as
do
well.
appreciate it because this did something for me. So I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you so much.
You put me
Um,
on the spot, sir. But
huh?
you put me on the spot, sir.
Oh,
But
well, good job.
I'm
You
gonna
need to
be, yeah, I'm
be
gonna
on the
be,
spot more often. We like it. We like it.
I'm gonna block you.
Oh, my goodness. Let's pray. Father, thank you, our God, our source, our creator. Thank you for this night. Thank you for the word that has been spoken, the true word of God, the word of God, Christ embodied in the person of Patrice Rustin. Thank you for the word of God tonight. Help us to apply it to our lives. Allow us, give us the capacity, the mental capacity, and let us walk in the awareness, the conscious awareness to apply this word of God that was spoken tonight. Let us stay consciously aware of our words, of our God power, of our I amness, and what we put behind the words I am. Let the Spirit enlighten us, if you will. Let the Spirit consistently bring us back into awareness when we use those words I am. And also when we navigate our various situations of life, let the Spirit bring us back to a conscious awareness that we should speak, that we should speak affirmatively as the woman of God instructed us to do tonight. My apologies.
Mhm.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you froze. I can hear you, but
I'm sorry. Yeah,
uh,
somebody called me.
you move.
And when you
You
have
better.
all of these Apple products, when somebody calls you, everything rings, including your iPad and your MacBook. So my MacBook started ringing, so and it
It's
cut me
back.
off.
You
But
back.
but nonetheless, we say, you didn't catch the end of the prayer, but we say Ashe and
Uh,
Amen, and
yeah.
so it is. And
So
no, baby, it was not Jesus calling. Because Jesus, if that was Jesus, let me see what this number was. Oh, I don't know. Jesus got a 336. Jesus live in North Carolina. Yes, he does. Because he lives in you.
he
He
does.
lives
He
in me.
does. He right
He
here.
lives in
Jesus
us.
here. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Jesus is
'Cause
right
we are
here.
Christ embodied. We are Christ embodied. That's the love of my life on this screen, y'all. All right, guys. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for being here. We're getting ready to go. It's been wonderful. It's been beautiful. Any last words of the evening? I'm about to call you Apostle. Any
Come
last
on now,
words
do
of the
that.
evening?
I mean, I just want to encourage encourage everybody to know that you do have the power to manifest yourself out of a situation, to manifest yourself um, abundance, to manifest yourself, those things that you desire. And when you do that, just know that it's already yours. It's the knowing,
Yeah.
the faith, the knowing. And that's just
Glory.
my final words. Just know that everything that you're desiring, you already have. You just have to speak it.
Ah,
Whether it's a freedom, whether it's deliverance, whether it is a job, whether it's a situation, it's already done. It's in the tongue.
glory
You
to
just
God.
have to speak it. That's it. Just speak it. Don't silence yourself for any enemy, any enemy. Don't
Say it
silence
again.
yourself for
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yes.
Anything like that. Anything you're dealing with, don't become silenced because of that. Speak against
Glory
it.
to God.
Encourage yourself. They always say, speak against the enemy. That's right. Speak against the inner me. Encourage the inner me.
Yes. Yes.
Encourage the inner me. So that's it. That's it.
Hallelujah.
That's it.
All right, guys, we're going to say good night to you. God bless you and God be you because you
Be
are God in a body, experiencing the earth as Patrice, as Jamel, as Joy, because the scripture says in the beginning, God breathed into man the breath of life.
Mhm.
Breath means spirit. God is a spirit. So God breathed himself into man, and man became a living soul. So God bless you and God be you. Good night.